making this video. It's, part of the collection of the final ones. I don't know when the time will be. It could be any time when this channel, I'll just keep it to help people, as long as I can. Just to help people so they know about the evil that's, that people do to people in this modern age and things people get away with. Which brings me to this, I can't speak of other religions. In Judaism and Christianity have a similar approach. Good Christianity, bad Christianity would tell you to embrace suffering. The saints don't embrace suffering. Their suffering happens because they're humble, and it's not a matter of embracing it. It's a matter of it happening and them adapting to it to still do good. Some people would say, oh, they embrace suffering, they welcome it. No, that's not true. It happens in their pursuit of holiness. And the humble person, the humble person, their suffering, it will just happen, smit happens, that's what they say. I'm trying not to swear, It can be overwhelming, the things that people do to my family. And sometimes my vice of a sailor's tongue comes out. But the Christian may have suffering, and suffering can be purgative. But then on the other hand, you don't just embrace it and ignore it. It happens in the pursuit of holiness. And of course, you try to find a way to make it end, even Padre Pio went to see doctors and tried to figure out what is going on with all of these sores that he has, hands. It's not like something he just accepted. He had them medically treated. Some of these tissues, they're part of his relics. I've seen them. And, he tried to medically treat it. Like I said, my theory is that God used the human medical condition of carpal tunnel. Because, my symptoms are similar with that which he had to a certain degree. God used the normal situation of carpal tunnel and, turned it into the manifestations of the stigmata. God works within the mundane. Even Jesus said, the time of thunder and lightning and storms and great miracles, that time has passed. And that being said, it's the Christian's duty, their obligation, to meet suffering with compassion and try to end suffering and help it. Not to tell people to embrace it. That's a very destructive Christianity that's being spread around by some. Oh, embrace your suffering. There's beauty in it. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. And Judaism would mirror this, There's no beauty in what's happened to the Jewish people throughout time. There's no beauty in it at all. Not at all. I wish there was more cross-theological discussion and writing, from a Catholic or Orthodox Jewish perspective, somebody who has a Jewish background who was Orthodox or Catholic, but unfortunately there's not. This is one, thing that's always really, bothered me, vexed me. And in some Catholic and Orthodox circle, there's kind of a animosity towards Judaism and Israel, unfortunately. In some circles, I've seen it. It's just unfortunate. Because I see great beauty, My lifelong love of Judaism is what drove me into Catholicism, and drove me to study Judaism more and to start to study to embrace it. And then the most simplest thing dawned on me: Jesus as Mashiach. I can't remove myself from the idea and from the belief. I don't know, that even Jesus returning, we have the idea of two Mashiach, one coming in the beginning for the physical, one coming in at the end of days to bring the spiritual reign. So in essence, it's two Mashiach. And anybody that studied Kabbalah knows that nafshi, the soul, the breath, can actually be separated. Souls can be separated. Um, there's no writing to, look at this from a Catholic or Orthodox perspective. Some of these things they don't even discuss. Oh, the soul is eternal. Yes. But, who is to say that the soul cannot have remnants? There's different layers of the soul, nafshi, different layers. And these layers can be separated. That's why some theorists in the rabbinical world have said that there will be two Mashiach. One, again, we come to one is physical, and the other is spiritual. One is Joseph, one is David. I don't know if it comes from the origin. I don't think the origin is like in any kind of modern Jewish movement or Jewish, mimicking group or anything, or like a Hebrew Israelite movement, or some messianic Jewish movement. I think this is older stuff, but people have just forgotten it. I mean, I think I wish, I studied a little bit of rabbinics, but I have not. But I've studied the similar stuff, but from a Christian approach. Master Divinity is, very similar. But, if the soul can be separated into different pieces, which, very possible. God breathed the breath of life into Adam. The breath of life. It's not just one thing. Breath is, a collection of things. So, anyway, and if we're made in God's image, God can be everywhere. So he must have given us, although we can't be like him, we must have some of those attributes. So, I would argue that the soul can have remnants that are, that are left with people, left in time, left in place. So maybe, maybe when Jesus comes back, maybe it will be in a manner that we completely don't recognize. Is he coming back in the sky with angels on horses and these things? No, this is figurative writing. So he could come back in a manner that we are totally shocked, or that we don't recognize at all. So just like the first time, maybe he'll come back. Some people have even said maybe he'll come back as a woman. Who knows? The approach, was slowly changing. Jesus, when his resurrection was witnessed by women, and that day and time, anybody who knows Jewish culture, that day and time, women witnesses have no value. But yet, who did he appear to? Who did he appear to first? So, that being said, the first group of people, there were women in there. So, again, that being said, Jesus saw things differently. Women and men are equals. So, and again, who were his best friends? Mary Magdalene and John, brother of James. And, it's just things to think about. But the Christian's role is to help end suffering. It's an obligation. You know, it's not something we just pray about and sit down. It's something we take an active role in, you know, living that gospel radically. And I don't mean a radical as being, you know, an instigator or making trouble or being, you know, confrontational outright. I mean, yeah, time for confrontation may come when evil persists. And, you know, violence is, of course, supposed to be the last thing on our mind. But again, there's a point that a boundary is crossed, and you can't come back from that. And, you know, you have to make a choice to be a martyr or to protect that which you're obligated to protect. So it's not easy being a Christian. It's not easy at all. And people who say that it's an easy walk, and they say that it's easy to, oh yeah, we're supposed to pray for those who are suffering and, you know, offer them a little bit of compassion. No. We're supposed to live a life of compassion, and we're obligated to help end their suffering. And we're obligated to, yes, accept ours, but not just accept it lying down like, oh, well. We're supposed to actively be pursuing gospel living and radically living what Jesus taught. And keeping in mind those things he studied. We don't just... The thing that sometimes bothers me is when we as Christians, we misinterpret the Tanakh, the Torah. We misinterpret it. You know, if you understand its setting better, it teaches you a lot more about the mind of Jesus and why he came and why he preached what he did. When we just blindly read it and don't understand the setting it was meant, or the way that it was read and interpreted by its time period, I think it really takes a lot from Christianity. We don't gain when we read the ancient Jewish scriptures from a Christian perspective. We don't gain. We lose things. We lose the wonder. We lose the the power of the fulfilling of prophecy, the power of the lessons that are in the writing. You know, when you write in Hebrew, every single letter, it's not just a letter. There's so much more behind every single word. And that's something we forget. When we sit during the liturgy, whatever liturgy one is sitting in, listening, and those words are taken, you know, from Jesus' life, from various Jewish liturgies, from the Torah, or from the Tanakh. Those words that are in the liturgy, they have very powerful meaning. And sometimes we forget that. Being a Christian is not easy. And certainly fighting suffering and helping others, it's not something you do at your when you feel like it, or when you're bored, or for your charity work for the week. Living the gospel is a radical thing you do every single day. It's a choice. And sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's very difficult. But the rewards, you won't find anywhere else.